In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
And with that, let the 2024 games begin. Donald Trump makes it official, all as the GOP takes over the House and fires Nancy Pelosi. We're going to take a look at both of these huge developments back to back, and make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video, because we actually have a part 2 that involves the new Southern California ballot harvesting strategy used by Republicans that in many ways won us the House, and that many are arguing serves as a model for how we can crush the Democrats at their own game in 2024. You are not going to want to miss this. In front of a packed crowd at his home in Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump officially announced his candidacy for President of the United States. The speech he gave was very serious and sober. It was at times rather somber in tone. The speech was structured beautifully. It began by reminding us of what life was like when Trump was president.
The world was at peace, America was prospering, and our country was on track for an amazing future, because I made big promises to the American people, and unlike other presidents, I kept my promises. I kept them.
He then contrasted that peace and prosperity and security with the utterly bleak way the nation is currently faring under a President Biden.
Thank you very much. Under our leadership, we were a great and glorious nation, something you haven't heard for quite a long period of time. We were a strong nation, and importantly, we were a free nation. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair. As we speak, inflation is the highest in over 50 years. Gas prices have reached the highest levels in history and expect them to go much higher now that the strategic national reserves, which I filled up, have been virtually drained in order to keep gasoline prices lower just prior to the election. Joe Biden has intentionally surrendered our energy independence. There is no longer even a thought of dominance, and we are now begging for energy help from foreign nations, many of whom find us detestable. Our southern border has been erased, and our country is being invaded by millions and millions of unknown people, many of whom are entering for a very bad and sinister reason.
It was the perfect contrast between the material conditions under his administration and these social and cultural rotting conditions that have beset us over the course of the last 2 years. And then his conclusion: there is only one way back. There is only one way to overcome this abject failure, and that is for the MAGA movement to retake power across the nation.
This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together. Because the only force strong enough to defeat the massive corruption we are up against is you, the American people.
Now, of course, the announcement is already triggering the far left, particularly the woke activists disguised as journalists over at the Washington Post. They actually ran the headline, the fake news headline: Trump, who as president fomented an insurrection, says he's running. I love how these guys they deliberately ignored the FBI investigation that concluded there was no hard evidence whatsoever that the riot on January 6th was a result of an organized plot to overturn the presidential election. There was no insurrection. There was no coup. And these left-wing activists disguised as journalists know it. But then again, these are the same people who don't know what a woman is or what a recession is. But yet they are infallible experts when it comes to an insurrection. Well, obviously not. But unfortunately for the mainstream media, most pundits, even especially like the Murdoch Fox News types, the Daily Wire types, even they were very impressed with the tone of the speech. In fact, even Rhino King Lindsey Graham tweeted out that if this is the tone and message that Trump's campaign is going to have throughout, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. And he's absolutely right on that. What we heard from that speech is clearly employing a strategy that Dick Morris calls hybridity. Morris has been advocating that Trump is what he's clearly channeling here. Trump is our first hybrid candidate. He's our first hybrid. He's part incumbent, part challenger. This is Trump's huge advantage that no other Republican is going to have if they were to try to get the nomination. He's a part candidate, part challenger. So as a challenger, he can go around complaining about gas prices, inflation, the open border. And generally, the only response that the incumbent has to the challenger is, well, how do we know that you can do any better? And that tends to be the Achilles heel of a challenger. The incumbent is like, yeah, I may not have a great, but at least I got a record, right? At least we know what we're going to get with me. You could be a lot worse. But this is the advantage of Trump's hybridity. Biden can't say that. Like in his announcement speech, Trump can point to success after success after success of a proven track record of getting our nation back on track. That's the advantage of being a hybrid candidate. And again, no other potential GOP candidate has this advantage. So 2024 is up and running, and we have our very first hybrid candidate who's going to actually continually slam Biden while at the same time pointing to his own successes. So what about Congress? What should we expect from the new Republican-controlled House? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But first, I've got tons of free gifts to give away to you. That's right. That's in celebration of our hitting 1 million subscribers. We're making it Christmas early here at Turley Talks. Make sure to click on that link below. Download tons of free resources. You're going to love it. You get my books, The Return to Christendom and the New Nationalism, absolutely free. You get my fake news antidote. You get my simple blueprints that will help you destroy liberal culture in your daily life. All yours, all absolutely free. My gift to you simply by clicking on that link below or going to drsteveblueprints.com. All right, so it is official from the decision desk. The Republicans have indeed taken over the House. Nancy Pelosi has been fired. They needed 218 seats. Right now they have 219. And most analysts are predicting that they're going to pick up a few more seats before all said and done. Regardless, the Republicans do have control of the House. And now the key is, what are they planning on doing? And this, to me, is actually very interesting in the way Trump's announcement is quite literally correlating with the GOP takeover of the House. Remember, now that Trump has begun the race, he's going to be hammering Biden's record of failures daily, nonstop. And while all that's going on, Republicans have already made it clear that they're going to begin holding hearings via various oversight committees on a number of issues that are going to, right along with Trump's campaign, hammer the Democrats daily. So the Hill is reporting that the Republicans have 5 investigative committees or 5 overarching verticals once they take over the House leadership. So obviously Hunter Biden is front and center. He's the most low-hanging fruit in all of this. Just think about once an oversight committee comes together, investigates firsthand Hunter's laptop. I mean, that alone may be it in terms of the bombshell revelations coming out from that. Even liberals like Bill Maher are aghast at what's on that laptop. So we got Hunter. We got the political weaponization of the FBI with Jim Jordan foregrounding now the, 30, 40 whistleblowers who have come forward from within the FBI with evidence of corruption. You've got the whole COVID fiasco with its origins and Fauci and vaccines. They're promising also to investigate the botched and disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. And of course, fifthly, the utterly criminal neglect, the willful neglect of our southern border. And that's when you might see impeachments of Mayorkas, the director of Homeland Security. And, of course, with the weaponization, the FBI and the Justice Department, that's going to bring the corruption of Merrick Garland front and center as well. So the heads up here, as we go into this is not going to be a legislative Congress, right? Any legislation that they pass would go nowhere. So instead, Republicans have a twofold job: stop any and all Democratic insanity, either from the Senate or the White House, and launch massive oversight committee investigations that work in tandem with Trump's campaign to hammer Biden and the Democrats daily. That's a pretty strong combination for the next 2 years. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is how we're going to counter the Democrat ballot harvesting that clearly frustrated our midterm efforts last week. And so in our next video today, I'm going to talk about the very successful Southern California ballot harvesting that won the GOP a number of seats. And many are saying that that is the model for every single contest in every single blue state and swing state. It's absolutely essential. It is essential that the GOP puts together an overwhelming ballot harvesting strategy to completely neutralize the Democrat early vote. If we employ the SoCal model, we'll crush the Democrats in 2024. And that is what we're going to be talking about in our next video. Until then, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Jordan Peterson leaving Piers Morgan speechless. That's a good thing. On Donald Trump. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on that link and I will see you over there. God bless.